My name is Marsha Preval. I am an ASN student here at Keiser University. I'm also an Army veteran, served for 9 years, so I have medical background in the military. I chose Keiser because I liked that the program had various opportunities that I felt many schools did not have. It seemed like one of my first initial thoughts when I decided to go into nursing school was to make sure the program was accredited. Many schools in South Florida do offer the nursing program, but they're not as accredited as Keiser is. Keiser holds both a regional and a Florida board certification. So for me, that was very important. I also chose Keiser because it's locally known. It's nationally known as well as locally known. Most hospitals recognize the university for its accreditation and its rigorous training that it provides to students. I feel nursing, first of all, holds an important role when it comes to patient care because we're the patient's advocates. We're the patient's first line of defense when it comes to wholeness and being healthy. Nurses hold a role to help emphasize with the patient and getting them to the place they would need to be overall for their health. I believe nurses hold a high standard for themselves to help escalate the patient's care, to making sure that their overall being is where it needs to be, and hold that important role to help and facilitate that in any way possible. It may not necessarily be on a physical end, it could be an emotional end, it could be on a psychological end, but the nurse hold that important role. And for me, I find it to be important that being that person for that patient is imperative. At this point, I had been in the field for some time, and nursing was actually, it wasn't my first choice, but it was always a calling. It's a weird thing to say. I have two aunts of mine who are nurses. One actually passed away, and one she has a doctorate in nursing in New York. And we constantly talk about some of the changes that's gone on in healthcare. And one of the things that my one living aunt had always said, that there was a nursing shortage, but she said you're going to really see a change in healthcare for what it is. And in the last 5 years, especially during the pandemic, I definitely saw a change in how patient care was being delivered. Thankfully, I have my husband, who's a great support system, as well as my sister. But I definitely am a firm believer, being with my military background, I'm all about a schedule. I'm all about pre-planning. I usually don't do well with surprises. So honestly speaking, I kind of have my husband's support wherever I may lack as far as my home duties, he picks up. And I use the time appropriately to go ahead and study and do my assignments and stuff like that. Education is key. You know, obviously opportunities come once you educate yourself, and not just for opportunities, but just for self-elevation, just to open your mind to learn something new. Just make sure they have a good support system. Make sure they plan out, to understand emergencies are going to happen. That's life, but to try to plan as best as you can to accommodate for those emergencies. But I'm always a firm believer in advancing oneself. So if an opportunity presents itself, they should do it.